Hello, this is Loretta here, and I'm going to do a quick tutorial on how to make a couple of flowers. First thing that I've got here is I have a length of lace that's gathered on one side, and I've cut it to 9 inches long. And what I'm doing is I'm just doing a quick gathering stitch very loosely. And I've already started this so that I won't have to do this through the whole length of lace. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking the needle across the whole length of lace, and I'm just making very large stitches throughout this piece of lace. And I'm going to try to work on camera here. I'm almost to the end of the lace now. So I'm just going to go all the way to the very last little bit of the lace. And once I get to the very last little bit of the lace, I'm going to go ahead and start pulling on that string, or thread rather. And I'm just going to slowly pull it until I get it into a circle, like that. And then I'm going to pull this thread underneath, and I'm going to turn my lace over. And I'm going to gather the two sides right here. Sides together, and I'm gonna just tack these two sides together here so that they stay. And the way that I learned this is I've watched a whole lot of tutorials on how to make lace flowers, so I can't credit any one person because I've watched a whole lot of videos, and I've tried several techniques on making lace flowers, and this is the one that I like the best. Or the one that seems to work the best for me, but they're all pretty similar. There's a whole lot of YouTube videos on how to do this out there. You can do this technique with any size of lace flower. Any size. I mean, any size of gathered lace. You can do this, and it will, depending on the width of the gathered lace that you're using, will depend on how big your flower is. And this is going to make a really big flower. But that's what I wanted. I wanted a really big flower to make a really large page accent, or to use on the cover of a mini. So I've gathered that up, and now what I would do is I would knot it. Not the lace, and trim that off. Okay, there you see that. Okay, so now what I'm going to do next is that I'm going to make the center for the flower. So what I have done is I punched a circle out of purple cardstock, and I took my flower center that I'm going to use, and I put it in the center of the cardstock, and I traced around that with a pencil. And then I took this red tape, red sticky mounting tape, and I put it around the center of the flower. And then I'm going to take and I'm going to trim off the excess of the red tape and use it in the places that don't have any tape. I'm going to do that all the way around here. And put it right where the places on the flowers that aren't covered with tape, because I don't want to waste any of this red tape. Now, I watched a video on doing this technique by Roxy Carr, and I'm going to list her channel in the bottom of this description, and she has some awesome tutorials. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off this red tape. Sometimes it can be a little bit stubborn to want to come off. And it always wants to stick to me. Okay. And now I have some corners in here that could also use some of this red tape, so I'm going to continue trimming my red tape, and I'm just going to lay it, what's left over, into these places that need some extra adhesive around my flowers. And my video differs just a little bit from Roxy Carr. She's actually making an entire flower out of ribbon, and what I'm doing here is I'm actually going to make my flower center, the center for my lace flower that you just saw. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off all these little pieces of tape so that I have a circle covered it with adhesive, with the exception of my flower center. And then I'm going to start gathering the ribbon very close around my flower center, like this, where my flower center is going to sit over the top of that ribbon when I get finished with it. And then what I'm going to do on this sticky circle, like this, is that I'm going to twist the ribbon, and I'm just going to press it down onto the circle as I go along. I'm just going to twist and press, twist and press. And I'm not being very careful about this, I'm just kind of doing it in however the lace wants to lay down. Not really doing a specific pattern. I'm just turning my circle, twisting my ribbon, and gluing it down. And keep going with that. Keep twisting and turning my ribbon. Twisting, and you can use any length of ribbon or any color. I'm using this ivory ribbon because it suits the project that I'm doing. And you can even do this with really wide width ribbon. And as I'm running out of cardstock here, I'm twisting it a little bit tighter to get that last little layer onto that purple cardstock. And I'm using purple because I've got the purple lace that I'm using. I'm going to twist it a little bit more. Twist, 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 twist. And now I've covered it up, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and cut that length off, right there. And I'm going to take some Fabri-Tac glue. And I'm going to press down the edge of that really good, and then I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac onto the edge of this. And then I'm going to fold the edge of the ribbon over to the back, and I'm going to hold that until that's glued. And it doesn't take very long. Fabri-Tac sets very quickly, and what I come up with is that center right there. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my lace and I'm going to put my center on it, and then I'm going to put my flower center into that, so that what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lace flower, I'm going to hot glue the circle. After I hot glue the circle, I'm going to put my ribbon flower on top of that, and then I'm going to take a paper piercer and pierce the center right there. And then once I pierce the center, I'm going to put my center right into the middle, right there. And then it's going to all be glued together, and the finished product looks like that. And that is my tutorial on how to make my lace flower. I may go back and do a little bit of distressing around the edges with just put a little bit of white paint on the edges of my fingertips and just wipe it along here and there, or maybe an ivory color just to give that a little bit of a distressed look, or I may just leave it like it is. If you have any questions about my tutorial, let me show you what the back looks like real quick where I glued it on right there. If you have any questions about my tutorial, please feel free to email me and I'll try to get those answered. And I hope that you enjoyed my tutorial on how to make my lace ribbon flower. Thank you for watching. Bye now.